मग दोरे कधी मागवणार आहे? दोरे कधी तर आणावंच की. हे तो बाहेर येतं आपली बसून नाही तुम्ही ते सगळं
All right. So what we have discussed in the last session of the database of the SQL, we have started about the views, correct? Where we have learned that whenever any complex query is given to us, then that complex query again and again and again we don't have to write. Rather, we can create a virtual table for that complex query output by creating the views. So what is a view used for? Views are used for putting a complex query in a simple query in a format of a virtual table. And next, whenever we want to execute that query, next, whenever we want that particular output, we only have to call or we only have to retrieve the data from that particular views. This is what the use or this is what the advantage of the views. Like this, as of now, actually, what we are learning here is we are learning about the database objects, where we came to know that first database object happens to be the database itself. The second database object happens to be the tables. The third one is views. And now the next database object, which is an important one, that happens to be stored procedures. What it is? Stored procedures. Please take down the heading in your notebook as take down the heading in your notebook as stored procedures. STORED. All right. All the online students, please take down this heading in your notebook, stored procedures. And now let us understand what do you mean by this term. See, long back, if in case you remember, long back when this computers just got invented in the market, that time or before that, even before that, this database, data, these concepts were existing. Previous to that, previous to the computers, how we used to manage the data or how we used to manage the database? By using the ledgers. We used to write it in the books, very big, very large books. Entire college data is written in a book. Entire hospital data is written in a book. Such books, where we will write the huge databases, are considered as ledgers. But again, there were so many problems with the ledgers. The problems were the ledgers can easily be destroyed. It is just a book. Anyone can come, anyone can tear the page, that data is gone. Anyone can put the fire, the data is gone. Anyone can steal it, the data is gone. Okay, sir, I will have the backup. How you will have a backup of ledger? By creating one more ledger. Create. How many backups you will have? So this was the actual problem. This was the actual scenario when computers were not there with us to put or store the data. And when then 1940s, when from the 1940s, the computers came into the existence, at that time, we thought that why we cannot use the computer's memory to store the data, why we have to use the book to store the data. And then we started thinking that somehow we should store the data inside the computer. And if in case we have to store the data inside the computer, we have to use a software, and that software only is considered as what? Database management software. DBMS got started from there. If in case we have to speak with the DBMS, then it is not possible to speak by using the programming language. For that, a new language was created, the querying language, that is only considered as what? SQL, structured query language. So now, at that time, when this database was not there, no one was working with the database also. If anyone was there, they were the programmers. They were the programmers. They were just working with the programming languages. For the very first time, when this concept of data, database, the DBMS, SQL came into the market, one new positions also came. Few positions came into the market as database administrators, the database developers, the database managers. These people or these designations, responsibilities was to manage the data in the computer. Because if in case one programmer is there, first of all, that time I'm telling 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, if a person is a developer, how respectful that job was. Today only that job is respectful. You are all here to become a developer. Assume in 1970s, if in case you will meet someone and someone will tell, hey, he's a developer. Very few people were there who were developers. So you cannot tell, hey, developer, come here, put the data in the computer. Not possible. Today, the story is different. Today, everyone is becoming developer. That time, everyone was not becoming developer. Few people who are very much interested in the developing part, only those people were becoming developers because of many XYZ reasons were there. If in case you will ask, sir, in India in 1980s, how many developers were there? Don't ask. Because in 1980s, becoming developer was not the aim. In 1947 only, we got the independence. 1940s computer came. 1947, we got the independence. 1950, 1960, 1970, if in case you will ask, our focus, 2 times food we should have. This was the, I should say, the problem in India at that time. Today, the thing is different. Don't compare India 2023 with India 1950 or India 1960. 2 different Indias it is. But that time, the scenario is completely changed, or that time the scenario was a different scenario. Today, the scenario is a different scenario. So that time, being a developer or having a developer was very, very proud. So that time we cannot tell a developer, you come here, you already know programming language. No, work with SQL also. No. For that, a new designation was created. New people were there who learned this and who got hired with them. So now if any developer wants the data, they have to go to the SQL person, put this query. Yesterday we were doing, right? Database administration, one person will come, give this query, that person have to write simple, one complex query, take the query. One more developer will come, tell me the output of the query, again they have to give. Like this, the things were going on. But things got changed, 1980s, 1990s, 2000, 2010, 2020s, things got changed. People told why everyone should be done by developer and why 2 different entities are there. We will try to mix one. When they tried to mix one, it was forced on the developer that now onwards you have to learn SQL also. Now onwards you have to start working with the database also. Now one developer who always wrote class program, opening of the class, system.out.println, this, immediately you are telling, write the program, create a database, create a table, int ID, this ID, that ID, varchar, primary key, foreign key, so many things are there. So now that told that it is a little bit hard. And always whenever we are evolving as a human, always the evolutions will happen to make our life simple or to make our life more complex. To make our life simple. So when this evolution was happening, they evolved And they told that, okay, no need to worry. We will use something as what? Stored procedures. Just go with the name. Procedure. Procedure is a different term, is a synonym of a function. So what do you mean by procedure? Procedure means function. What do you mean by function? Function means behavior. What do you mean by behavior? Behavior means member function. What is member function? Method. So all these are the same name of the same entity. You tell it as method, you tell it as function, you tell it as behavior, you tell it as procedure. Everything means the same. So now I want to create such a function which is already stored. Such things are considered as what? Stored procedures. For example, one very simple example I am telling here. I will tell like this, that one developer is there. That developer want to execute one query that happens to be one very simple example. One very simple example I am taking. Select a star from student table. This query developer wants to execute. This query developer wants to execute. Now, if in case sir, we are more disappointed that every time there will be an issue regarding the apps. That's why we can't attend the database section. Yesterday also we faced the same issue. Will you mind it? Please give us a solution for this. Just one thing, Hannah. Yesterday we didn't have database sections. I'll come back to that point later. So here, select a star from student. After this, whatever this query we are having, this query I have to save it as a function. If in case I want to save this SQL query as a function, only one thing can help us, and that happens to be the stored procedures. Now here, if I want to create one procedure, then I have to tell like this, create procedure. And then I have to tell a name of the procedure. You can tell anything. Assume that what the select star from student will do, it will display the data. So here I will tell the create procedure name happens to be display data. Again, I'm telling you can tell anything, whatever you want, the procedure name. And after this, you have to mention here two keywords. One happens to be begin. That now from here, I am starting to create the procedure. So I am telling here begin. I will tell the query which I want to put it inside the function. And after this, I have to tell end. Is this clear with everyone? Now, one question I'm asking, please analyze and tell it very, very properly. This query, is it a correct query or it is incorrect query? What is missing? Sorry? What is missing? Semicolon is missing. Select a star from student, and after this, what we have to do? Semicolon. So now work as a MySQL and tell me how this will be executed. How MySQL will read this? Create procedure, display data. Continue, nothing is there. Begin, continue, nothing is there. Select star from student, semicolon means end the query. If in case you will end the query, then who will read this end? Understanding this? So now this again problem. Sir, if in case I want to put one query to create one procedure, query will have a semicolon, and MySQL know wherever the semicolon will come, there only should end it. But my syntax is this. After query, I have to tell end. So what to do? What to do means this semicolon, whatever you are seeing, technically it is considered, it is called as delimiter. What it is called as? Delimiter. By default, the delimiter in MySQL is semicolon by default. So what we will do, we will tell MySQL, because I am creating one stored procedure, I know by default for you the delimiter is semicolon. Don't treat delimiter as semicolon. I will tell what should be the delimiter. So here I will tell delimiter is not semicolon. You tell anything, whatever you want. Maybe I will tell delimiter is double slash. So once I will tell delimiter double slash, what will happen? Now MySQL will treat wherever double slash will come. That means what? End of the query. So now this semicolon, I have told MySQL, don't treat semicolon as end, treat double slash as and, read it. Create procedure, display data, double slash is not there, continue. Begin, double slash is not there, continue. Select star from student, semicolon, double slash is not there, continue. And double slash is not there, continue. And then in the last I will tell double slash. What does it mean? Now this query has to be end. So these are small things which you should know, that whenever we are creating the stored procedure, the problem will be whenever we are creating the query, in the query only semicolon will be there. As soon as MySQL will take or read the semicolon, it means it is end, but I don't want to tell the end here. So for this, I will change the delimiter to whatever I want, and then last, wherever I will tell the same thing, that means SQL has to end it. But after this, for MySQL memory you saved, after this also, if in case you will just select, you will tell something, for with that also semicolon will not work. So again, what you have to do? Again, what you have to do? Whatever change you have done, again you have to change it. So again, I will tell after this delimiter again will become what? Semicolon. So after this, again, wherever you will tell semicolon, again MySQL will tell, okay, this is the end of the statement. Is this clear with everyone? Please take down in your notebook as stored procedures and then continue. Stored procedures are used. Stored procedures are used stored procedures are used to save a query, to save a SQL query in the format of a function, in the format of function. In the format of function. They can also be treated as SQL statements, which are precompiled, and already stored in the database. Precompiled and already stored in the database. Precompiled and already stored in the database. Okay. After this, please copy this and see, because this is a function, so you have to put the function sign also. So next, if in case a programmer has to execute this query, they don't have to write the query. Rather, what they have to do? They have to call the function. So for them, it will become the same thing. What they will do in the programming, they will always call the function. Here also, I have stored this query in the format of function. If they want to select anything from the student table, don't write select star from student. Just call what function? Display data function. As simple as that. Please copy this, and then we will see how we can do it in the database. Then copy this. All right. So see here, first I will use one database. Maybe I will tell here use university database. Inside this university database, maybe assume that I will first see which and all tables are there. Show tables. Okay, there are so many tables. Assume that we'll see the values which are present inside the student table. So here I will tell select star from student table. Okay, these are the values present. Maybe in student 1. Okay, maybe we'll take this table, student 5 table. Some more data is present, so I'm taking this. Now assume that we have to create the stored procedure for this particular query. Select star from student 5. If I want to create the stored procedure for this, what we have to do? We have to tell here create. Here I will tell create procedure. Some procedure name I will tell here. Assume that I will mention the procedure name as display data. Whatever you want to give, you can give display data. Silence everyone. See here. Display data. Well, inside this, I will tell begin. After this begin, I will tell what query. So select star from student 5. I'll tell semicolon. Now next what I have to tell? I have to tell end. I'll press enter. See what's telling? You are having syntax error. Why? Because you told create procedure. After begin, after the query, what should come? End should come, but you didn't tell end. So how I will tell end? It didn't give me chance because you have told what? Semicolon. So it is reading the semicolon as delimiter. So first only I will change the semicolon. I will change the delimiter. How to change? Delimiter. Assume that here I will tell double slash. This is the delimiter now. Okay, done. Next, again I will tell create procedure. The procedure name is display data. After this, I will tell begin. Next, which query? Select star from student 5. Student 5, semicolon. I'll press enter. See, it is not getting terminated now. I am continuing. I will tell end. And after telling this end, what I will tell? Double slash. Why? Because now I want to exit the query. Now I want to terminate the query. If in case I'll press enter, done. Now you just have to do what? You just have to call the procedure. So for that, you have to tell here call. What you want to call? Display data. Same thing you have to mention. Call display data. After this, what I have to mention? What I have to mention? Double slash. Because if in case I'll not tell double slash, it will be waiting for what? Double slash only. You cannot tell semicolon. So here, if in case okay, maybe what I'll do, first I'll change the delimiter. I will tell here again, the delimiter, again it is what? Semicolon. I'll press enter. Now I'll tell call display, call display data. Semicolon. If in case I'll press enter, you can see same thing, same data we are getting, but now I am not telling here select asterisk from select star from student. Rather, I am telling call display data. So it is calling this function, display data function, inside which we have stored one query, select star from student 5. Now you have to take this example in this way, that there is one very complex query, very complex query is there. And now we are working as a team. Please understand this very carefully. There is one very complex query. In this team, only I am the SQL developer and all of you are the Java developers. Only I am the SQL developer, all of you are the Java developers. And that complex query is some 20-30 lines of query. Such a complex query it is. Now, if you people, if Java developers have to use that query, will it be easy for you or will it be difficult for you? It will be difficult for you. If in case I will tell you to write 20 lines of code in Java, will it be simple for you? Yes. If in case I will tell you to write 20 lines of SQL query, will it be simple for you? No. You are what? Java developers. I am what? SQL developer. If you will tell me, sir, you write 20 lines of Java code, hey, no, SQL developer I am. Give me 20 lines of SQL query, I can write. Because your responsibility is different, my responsibility is different. But now as a project, one requirement has come that all of you have to execute one SQL query. So what I am doing, I am taking that. Now you have to take it like this. I am taking one very complex query, 20 lines of complex query I am taking, and I am creating one procedure for it. Assume that display data. And then what I will tell you? Developers, if you want that complex query to get executed, which function you have to call? Display data you have to call. So now your life is becoming simple or hard? Now your life is becoming simple. I am also happy. You are also happy. You want to call a function as a developer, call the function. I want to write a query as a SQL developer. I am writing the query. I am doing my job. You are doing your job. In that way, the stored procedures are used. Please take down this in your notebook. Okay, already have copied, right? This one. Okay. You have not copied this? Copy it just now on the board, whatever we have written. Same thing is present here. After this, just mention this also. Called display data. Just copy this much also. Done copied? Copied everyone? Okay. Now here, don't you think that in the Java, silence everyone, see here. In the program, whenever we are writing, we can also send some input to the function. Yes or no? Whenever we are writing a method, whenever we are calling a method, can we send some parameters, arguments to the function? Yes, always we can do it. In the same way, as of now, you are getting or you are retrieving all the data, correct? All the rows you are getting. What if I want to retrieve a specific row? Assume that wherever the ID is 4, I want to retrieve only that row. Wherever the ID is 4. And this 4 also, who will enter? That user will enter who is calling the function. So how to create such a stored procedure? Like this, where I will take the user input also. So again, I will mention here first, I am changing delimiter is what? You have to help me now. Delimiter is /. Next, create procedure. Maybe here I will tell, okay, fetch by ID, because that's what we are doing. And here I want to take input. So in one variable, I will create X. which is of what type? Int type. You know, MySQL is ulta of Java. In Java, you will tell first data type, then you will tell variable name int x. But in MySQL, you will tell variable name first and then data type. So x int. And what is this in used for? In is a keyword to take the input. Simple. Okay. After this, I'll press enter. Next. Tell begin. Next. Select asterisk from student 5 where id equals to 4. 4 user will enter. That 4 will come and sit in which variable? X. So id equals to x. I'll tell semicolon. I'll press enter. I will tell what? And after this, end of the line. If in case I'll press enter, done. Now what we'll do? We'll change the delimiter. So delimiter happens to be again semicolon. I'll press enter. Now what I have to do? I have to call. So call which method? Fetch by id method. So call fetch by id, and then here you pass 4. You can see you are getting no sir, 4 I don't want. Okay, 2 you want. Pass 2 that you want. So it is working like a function which can take the parameters also. Please take down this also in your notebook. Stored procedure with taking input. Stored procedure with taking user input. Stored procedure with taking user input. Whatever I am highlighting, only that you have to copy. Copy this. Once you have copied this, copy this. Then copy this, everyone. Okay. So here I'll hold my discussion for the SQL. So again, for this stored procedure, very simple one, but yet very important from the interview perspective. I have seen this question multiple times in the interview, getting asked from the students. explain the stored procedures. Both the things you have to explain. One, where you are not creating as any input, where you are not taking any input, and the second example where you are taking one input. Is this clear with everyone? Please do practice with such queries and then come for the next class. Attendance, I will only mark from the backend, so you don't have to worry about your attendance. Attendance will be given. You can leave for the day. Thank you, everyone. Take care, all of you. Online students, if in case you are having any doubts, you can ask now. Yes, Manikanta, there is some issue with the attendance service as of now. I will mark the attendance for all the students, so you don't have to worry regarding that. No problem, Manikanta. For both Java and MySQL, I will only give the attendance. So no student have marked attendance. I will only give attendance for both the sessions, Java also, MySQL also. Yes, Shrikant, if in case you don't have the queries, you can leave for a day. All the students, you can leave for a day. Please don't worry about your attendance for Java as well as MySQL. I will only give it.
Using that links
For what input? It's a keyword. It's a keyword. How you have the Java keywords, like for example, find keyword. Like this in the MySQL also you have to tell MySQL, right? That whatever this X we are taking,
get the input, we should use the
in
keyword. After that only we should pass in
variable
variable.
and then the data type.
Okay.
So that X who will give user will. Can you please wait for 2 minutes? Okay, Vidisha, why I'm using the AND delimiter? The delimiter is used to tell that whatever the semicolon we are using in MySQL, that semicolon, it should not treat it as end of the line. Instead of that, it should treat that double slash whatever we are telling. Because semicolon is present in our query also. If in case we will not change this delimiter, then by default, automatically, it will end it on that semicolon statement. Yes, Vedant, anything you can use. Okay, Navya, I will look into it. Can you please tell me the date for that particular class? Shivaji, we have learned about the stored procedures, but I hope now you would have understood, right? Okay, Vidisha, I have taken it into the consideration. I will just check. Any other technical queries anyone is having? Srinithi, attendance is not working. I know. That's why I told that you don't have to worry about your attendance. I will give attendance for all the students. I don't know you are listening that or not. 3-4 times I have told. Please don't worry about your attendance. I will only give the attendance. You can leave the session. Okay. Okay, Pawan, I will just check it once. If in case it is there, something like that, I'll make it correct. Any other queries any student is having? Shrikant, we are using that in X int to take the user input. So in is a keyword which is telling that we are taking one input. X is a variable in which that input will be stored, and int is the type of that variable. Yes, Darshan, you can change the delimiter how many times you want. Okay, so I'll arrange a session for you in which I can explain that. Not as of now. All right, thank you for everyone. So no, Darshan, that's what we were discussing. If in case you will not change the delimiter, then wherever you will tell semicolon, it means it is the end of the query. After semicolon, whatever the E and D and you are telling, it will not be read. You will not be able to enter it. So you have to change the delimiter. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care, all of you. We'll meet tomorrow. Please do revise everything and then come for the next class.